Hey guys, John here, learningguitarnow.com, and in today's podcast, I want to show you how to play a Peter Green influence lick. This lick is taken from a tune you may have heard called Fool No More. It's a minor blues playing the key of E minor. Now, if you would like the tab, the backing track, and the interactive version, think about becoming an All Access Pass subscriber. Let's go ahead and start this podcast. Okay, now that you've seen and heard the lick, let me break it down for you. Once again, this lick is played in the key of E minor. It is a minor blues played over the E minor and the A minor chords, the 1 and the 4 chords in this 12-bar blues here. So I'll go ahead and play the lick again. It sounds like this. Okay, so that is the lick we're going to analyze, and let's figure out when it comes in. So when the tune comes in, there's just nothing, you're resting. We're going to rest for, this is a 12-8. You can also count it as 4-4 if you like, but you're going to come and you're going to rest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And right after the 12th count, you're going to come in with this thing. And what you're going to do is you're going to bar the bottom 3 strings with your first finger. That produces an E minor chord. Now take your second finger and I'm going to put it on the 14th fret of the D string. Like I said, bar the first finger on the 12th fret, bottom 3, the E, the B, and the G. Second finger, play the 14th fret. That's the E note, the root note. And pretty much this entire lick is using the first position E minor pentatonic scale. So strike that note first. And then we're just going to play this and we're going to let these notes ring out. It gives a really haunting kind of sound of this E minor blues. So we got this, then 12, and then just hit that 12 all in a row on the G, B, and the E string here. And then come back, hit the 12th fret of the B string, and now we're going to pull off, leaving that bar down because you want them to ring. Now pull off 15 to 12 on the B string. Now hit 14 on the G string, and then hit 12 on the B string right here. So that little phrase I find Peter Green uses a lot. You know, you can just bar those bottom 3, and then you got this. And if you listen to that tune a lot, he's doing that sound over and over again in different areas. So one technique to learn is just barring the bottom 3 strings. And he probably uses second finger. A lot of those guys in the 60s use their second finger when playing notes in the first position minor pentatonic scale, like 12, 14. Just gives a slightly different sound. So if you want to be, more authentic to that sound, Clapton uses his second finger. A lot of times I will use it. A lot of times I'll use my third finger. It's also just a matter of personal preference. You know what you like to use, but experiment with using that second finger there. So that's the first thing to take note of. Now, after we're doing that, I'm going to slide that 12th fret on the G string just up 2 frets with your first finger. You might find that it's hard to get the sound perfect. I even had a lot of problems in the beginning playing that, just because, you can also not quite get to the fret, or, get past the fret, or just like it won't sound good. It might get stuck along the way. So you just got to practice that first finger slide. Sounds really cool. You're going to have to come right off that 12 and then slide right immediately after you hit that 12 on the B string. Now the next step, we're going to pull off 14 to 12 on the D string, 14, 12, then slide backwards to 12, and then pull off the 10 on the A string, then 12 on the low E string. That's the E, the root note. Now hit 10 on the A string, slide into 14, and we're starting the second phrase here. And then bend that 15th fret up. So I like to just segment these type of licks into different phrases. So the first step or section you want to learn or phrase is this. And then the next step is you want to hit this. That would be the first two sections. So that second section, when we hit after the low E string, it's just coming right up the minor pentatonic scale in the key of E. You can even bend that 14 on the G string, sounds cool. Or you could also bend that 15. There's lots of ways you can improvise these licks. This is just like a guideline, a skeleton, and then experiment with doing different things, and you'll produce some new licks. That time I bent the 14 on the G, and then the 15th fret on the B string to get that slightly different sound. And then we're going to bend the 15th fret of the B up to the E pitch, which is the key that we're in. And we're going to let that ring out for 5 counts. And on the 6th count, we're going to come and play this. This is the last section of this lick. So we just added the 14th fret to the minor pentatonic scale right here on the high E string. So you got 12, and I like to dig in like that. Has a great sound to it. Then you go 15, 14 on the high E, and then hammer on pull off 12, 14, 12 on the high E, 15 on the B, back to the 12th fret. And then you're going to bend. I like to use my second finger, that 14th fret, the G string, just slightly though. Pull it down, hit 14, 12, 14 on the D, then 12, 14, and then a hammer on pull off quick. So the last section slowly would be this. And you also want to play these phrases really laid back. You don't want to be all over the beat. You want to just kind of play maybe slightly behind the beat. And so that means just not aggressively playing right on the beat in time perfectly. Just relax, take a few deep breaths, and just practice just feeling the music and not focusing too much on being precise, but trying to get the feel down. Because if you listen to the tune, the feel is really laid back, almost like a Pink Floyd, David Gilmour type sound. You gotta be... You know, something in that vein instead of doing something like this. You see, I'm just not really putting any feeling into it. You gotta feel every note, and every one is a little bit kind of spacey and dragged out. It's kind of hard to explain, but you just gotta get the mindset of this is a really laid back blues. You're not trying to be some kind of robot machine just flying out notes. It's gotta be just really emotional and dramatic. So that's a few tips about executing the lick. Once you get the notes down, it's just a matter of feel and trying to get that just laid back vibe that makes it sound really bluesy. So it's kind of a haunting minor blues. So try to get in that mindset after you learn the notes. Just put it into your mind that you're going to play laid back, haunting, and just try to get into that mood of a lot of dramatic playing going on right here. So let me play it one more time for you slowly. Is this? So pretty much using the minor pentatonic scale, just adding that 14th fret on the high E string right there. And that's pretty much the entire lick. It's just got a lot of vibe going on and a little bit different approaches of how to play, sections in the minor pentatonic scale. Okay, that's it for this lesson. Like I said, if you want the Tab Backing Track interactive version, think about becoming an All Access Pass subscriber. Okay, John here at LearningGuitarNow.com, and I'll see you next time.